What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical average American here today to react and learn about what daily life is like in Norway. You see, us Americans, we so rarely travel outside of the United States. Most of us, like myself, only know what life is like in America. So I actually am really curious about simple things about Norway, like what are daily life, daily habits like in Norway compared to the United States. So I have this little video here where this Norwegian right here is going to answer some questions about just common everyday things in Norwegian life that I don't know about, honestly, because most Americans only know about life in America. So I'm excited about this. I'm excited to learn what differences and similarities we have between just going throughout your day in Norway or the United States. So let's take a look.
First of all, what do we eat for breakfast? Well, we eat, of course, bread. No surprise there.
Bread. I feel like bread is the cornerstone of the Norwegian diet. Breakfast, wow, that's a really good one. I'm actually really curious about this because breakfast in the United States is crazy. There is no standard breakfast. Maybe standard breakfast in America is cereal with milk, or if you're a little more fancy, maybe some eggs or pancakes. That's kind of a classic breakfast, but a lot of Americans might not eat breakfast or grab some kind of cereal bar or protein bar or something like that and take that with them out the door because not everyone has time for breakfast. And I swear, in America now, these days, there is no standard American breakfast anymore. It's whatever you want.
It's true, we eat a lot of bread for breakfast, mainly just bread, and then we put different things on it.
Bread.
I prefer to eat with eggs. A lot of people prefer jam or ham, and also we have a
bread with eggs. I have never even heard of. Those are like deviled eggs or hard-boiled eggs, or I forget. But I've never seen eggs on bread in my life. That's kind of interesting. Sounds good. Probably be good.
Eggs. A lot of people prefer jam.
Okay, that's normal enough.
Or ham. And also we have a kind of like cheese in Norway.
Americans don't really eat meat very much for breakfast, except bacon. Americans like bacon for breakfast. Sometimes, again, that's kind of like a special occasion. Most Americans probably eat cereal, if I'm going to be honest.
Which is like a white cheese, like that.
Oh.
White cheese.
Okay.
What it's called. So it's like, depends what we put on the bread. We all normally have it with coffee. Yes, it's true. We drink a lot of coffee here in Norway.
I think I read that once that Norway drinks the second most coffee in the world, even though Norway is so small, or has the second most cups of coffee per day per person. Maybe that's what it is. But Norway loves coffee. And Americans love coffee. He looks like he's taken his coffee black, by the look of it.
With coffee, yes.
Yeah, that looks really black. Do Norwegians like to put all the cream and sugar? Americans love fancy, sweet coffees that are basically like desserts at a certain point. Like, especially the ones at Starbucks that Americans love.
It's true, we drink a lot of coffee here in Norway.
Yeah.
Come on, what do you expect? We have 1 hour of light in the winters. Come on. And then we have apple juice.
Oh, okay.
It's really common to have a juice in the morning. And
Americans sometimes drink orange juice in the morning. Do Norwegians like orange juice? We don't really drink apple juice, but funny enough, we drink orange juice. I wonder why that is.
then, that's a normal thing to have for breakfast in Norway.
Oh,
right.
apple
So another
juice.
question I got was, how does a Norwegian day look like?
Oh, here we go. Wow, just a standard average Norwegian day. Okay.
I want to explain now in general. I'm not going to speak for everyone, but more or less, a lot of people do like this.
Yeah.
So they wake up around maybe 6 or 7 o'clock. They have breakfast, the things I just explained with bread with something on it.
Yeah.
Then we go to work normally with
So this is a Norwegian adult, basically.
car or public transportation. Mostly car is really normal.
Okay, so Norwegians do use cars. Americans almost always use a car. Our public transportation is terrible. No one wants to use it. It's not very pleasant. The people that use it are not very pleasant. Americans, you basically have to have a car in the United States. So Norwegians seem to use both, which is honestly nice if the public transport is good.
Common. Then we go to work. We have lunch normally around 11 o'clock.
11 o'clock. That's a little early to have lunch in the United States. That's a little early. I would say Americans would say noon, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock is lunch. So that's a little different.
The question is, what do we eat for lunch? What do you think we eat for lunch?
Uh-huh.
So normally for lunch we eat again a bread.
Bread.
Brödskiva. Bread.
Bread.
Okay? We eat that with some.
Man, Norwegians love bread. Bread is very good. The bread in America is so bad for you. So bad for you. The white bread, I think Norwegians do a little better with that. With a little more nutritious bread, at least. If you're going to be eating it all the time.
Some stuff on it we bring from home. Normally, some people bring maybe even like some warm food or something, like pasta or something, but it's really not common. If people open like a box of pasta and you like at your work, like people are like, what the hell are you doing? It's not that normal. So normally we bring also bread for lunch. Okay, then
Americans definitely like to buy lunch at the cafeteria or out at a fast food restaurant mostly. Not a lot of Americans bring lunch. So that seems to be a pretty big difference. If a lot of Norwegians are actually packing a lunch like bread and other toppings, that's different actually. It seems nice. A little more healthy.
we work for some more hours, maybe until like 3-4 o'clock normally. Then we go home, driving or
Wait, what?
some more hours, maybe until like 3-4 o'clock normally. Then we go home.
Norwegians go home at 3 or 4 o'clock? Is that normal? Is that normal? I'm a little shocked. Norwegians get to leave work at 3 or 4? Americans have to work till 5 or 5:30. Almost across the board. Totally normal. Although I do know that Norwegians have a much, much healthier work-life balance. So, man, do Norwegians work like 8 hours a day? Similar to Americans? Wow! Man, that'd be so nice to leave work that early. You'd actually feel like you have the rest of your day to maybe enjoy or do something. It's probably why Norwegians are happier too.
Driving or transportation, whatever. Then we go home. Normally, what people is doing, I'm not gonna say for everyone, but like general thing. It's really difficult to say what everyone's doing, but they go home, maybe relax a little bit, have a snack, fruit or something, and then they have dinner around 5 or 6 o'clock. So it's pretty early, right?
5 or 6? No, I mean, that's not that early. A lot of Americans might have dinner at 5 or 6. But it's really random, or at least in my experience. Like, sometimes I wait till 7 or 8. But that's not normal. I'd say 6 or 7, yeah.
Then after dinner, it's time to do something that you like, your hobbies. You go to the gym, you go to like club, a club like for a meeting or something, okay? Not like a nightclub. You do something with your friends, whatever. It's like that's the time to do that, all right? Maybe you go to like some kind of training, you do squash, whatever. That's that time. Then until like.
So far, this is pretty similar. Like you get up, have breakfast, go to work, have lunch, leave work, go home, eat dinner. Do something fun, hopefully. Yeah.
9 o'clock or something. Then we go home. Then we have kveldsmat, which is like supper. Okay, it's like night food before we go to sleep.
Wait, what is this? Kveldsmat?
Have kveldsmat.
Kveldsmat? Night food? Nighttime dinner? What? Wait, what?
Just like supper. Okay, it's like night food before we go.
Night food? We don't have a word for eating after dinner. Dinner is the last meal of the day in America. I didn't know that there was another sort of meal or another word for eating in Norway at night. Wow, okay. In America, it's just like, I'm gonna have a snack after dinner and feel bad about it.
Go to sleep. And what do we eat then?
Okay. Yeah.
Well, we eat again bread.
Bread.
We must think like we're crazy to eat bread, but
Bread.
it's really true. We eat so much bread. I'm actually a little bit worried for the health because I don't know how healthy it is.
Yeah, bread is not the healthiest, but it's probably better than the American bread. At least there's that.
Especially been to some other countries. I've seen how they do it there. They eat for sure better food, but yeah. So in general, the food here is it's not something to brag about. I'm not gonna say we're like a food nation, okay? So it's gonna be, if you go to Norway, maybe you're gonna get a little bit bored of the food because yeah,
Bread.
it's pretty boring food here. That's
all
for
bread.
Sure, okay. Then after like Kveldsmat, we normally go to sleep around, I don't know, 10, 11, 12, depends.
Sure,
like,
sure.
you know, cases. But yeah, like that can be like a general thing how a Norwegian day will look like.
Okay, so the Norwegian day is pretty similar to the American day. The biggest difference was Americans have to work till 5 o'clock. Norwegians, if I'm correct, get off work at 3 or 4, which is amazing. That sounds so much better. And Norwegians might eat a meal late at night or a snack, but it has a name. And Americans will snack as well, but it doesn't really have a formal name here.
Oh, another great
And Norwegians eat a lot more bread, too.
question I got was, is it really normal for Norwegians to go to the nature? I would say, yeah, it's pretty normal. We obviously have a lot of beautiful nature here. It's really common to of course, we take advantage of that.
Yeah, this is a good question. Americans probably don't do that great of a job getting outside. I mean, America is not exactly known for being the healthiest country. But also, Norway is so beautiful, so incredibly beautiful, that Norway seems to have a culture of being in touch with nature and making sure you keep that up for your own well-being and happiness and enjoyment that I really love. But I think Norway is so much better at that because it helps a lot that Norway is so beautiful. So I think that's a big difference.
Especially in the weekends, it's really normal to have a house, and then we have another kind of like cabin, normally in Sweden or up in the mountains, where we go for
The cabin. That's a huge one. That's a huge one. Yeah, I'm so jealous of the cabins. Norwegians have cabins. That is not a thing in America. That would mean you're like rich if you have a cabin. If you have a second place you own, that is so rare. But in Norway, it seems like everyone has a cabin or their family has a cabin, and it's this lovely little getaway where you can go relax and leave home and connect with nature. And it's really a wonderful concept that is very Norwegian. I really wish America could have this kind of thing, but we don't.
the weekend. We go skiing. We go with our families. We go maybe
Skiing.
bring some friends.
Skiing.
Yeah, we can do a lot of things there. Maybe we go for a swim. We have a boat there. We do something like that. Okay, so it's
Yeah.
really common. We go, yeah, for nature. If you don't have a cabin, you go to the mountains. You just go. Maybe in the afternoon when you finish work, you go for a hike in the mountains. It's
Sure.
really beautiful because
Sure.
we were lucky. We have a lot of mountains here. It's really beautiful. So
Yeah, a lot of hiking trails, a lot of hiking opportunity. That's so cool.
yeah, it's true. We go for a lot. We go a lot in the nature. We're really grateful for this, and we're really proud of the nature here because
Yeah.
it's, in my opinion, it's really, really beautiful. It's
Yeah.
something that
Norwegians should be proud. And it's really nice to hear that Norwegians take advantage of Norway, of the nature that Norway has. That's great.
I would suggest you to try if you haven't tried it. It's really beautiful. Oh, another good question I got right now was,
Oh,
is it true that Norwegian people become really independent really early?
oh.
Good question, actually. Good question.
Do Norwegians become independent early in life? I don't know. Wow, okay, I like this.
In my opinion, yeah. I didn't even. We got an ice cube machine here making ice cube. Question I got: is it true that Norwegian people become really independent really early?
Yeah.
Really, really good question. So, I would say that yeah, compared to the countries I've been to, it's quite common to go after we finish high school, when we are around 18, 19 years old.
Okay.
We normally go either to another city to study. Like, for example, the big cities really common to go to Oslo or Trondheim or Bergen or Tromsø, which are like the biggest university cities. It's really common to go from, maybe you live in a village somewhere, you go to those big kind of cities, okay?
Oh, wow. I did not know about this. That's so interesting. So in Norway, when you graduate high school, you're kind of expected that you might travel to one of Norway's really big cities and study there. That is a little different than the United States. In America, everyone wants to go to college after high school, but the university and college can be in your home city, it can be in your hometown, it can be all across on the other side of the United States. You could move hundreds of miles away. There's just such a huge variation, a huge amount of different universities you could go to. Close to home or far away. There's no standard. It's whatever you want to do. And some people don't even go to university. They do something else, like a skill-based job. So this is a bit different of an expectation, I think.
To study, okay, at the universities. It's really common to go there when you're 18 and 19.
Okay.
And yeah, normally we get asking also for like where to get the money from. It's actually kind of good because we have in some cases the parents are paying, but we have like from the government we can take a student loan, which are really good benefits that we normally do that to pay for to live there, okay? Because the university is for free unless you take a.
Oh my God, that is. As an American, hearing this makes me very happy for Norway, but also very jealous. Very jealous. Oh my gosh. Because America has some of the most expensive education in the world, and Norway is free. And obviously, it's so smart for Norway to have free education because it makes your population smarter. Because everyone is more educated and more likely to be educated if it's free. It's a benefit to your society. But in the United States, you have to take out massive loans or go into debt or try to work a job while you go to university. It's not easy. It's really hard, and it's sad that it kind of discourages a lot of people from being able to get a university education. So, yeah, I'm very jealous.
Public one. No, sorry. If you take a private one, all the publics normally are free. And then the only thing you have to pay for is the rent and the food. And the rent in the big cities is quite expensive.
Okay. So Norwegians do have to pay for living and rent and food. Okay, that's something. Still a lot better.
That's why. So, for example, like me, I moved to Spain when I was 19.
Oh.
And yeah, so it's quite. I would say the culture is really like when you're done with normally high school, it's common to go out and kind of get your own experiences and move away from your parents, and then you go home in the weekend or something. Okay.
This is sort of similar to American culture in the sense that when you're 18, you are expected to probably move out and go off on your own, get a job or go to university. That is expected. Whereas I know in other cultures around the world, entire families and children will live with each other in the same house until they're married or something, and that's totally normal. So it actually seems like as far as like cultures around the world go, Norway and America are pretty similar with this idea that when you're 18, it's time to become an adult, I guess.
Okay, so yeah, I would say it's quite common to go, it's really common, yeah, mostly common to go out when you're 19 or something like that.
Okay.
To go out, to get experiences and become independent, maybe like you consider like an adult then, okay?
You're right.
It doesn't have to be like that, but normally, yeah, it's like that.
Yeah.
It was a funny one. One was, how do you like your coffee? Thank you for that question. Thank you so much.
The coffee.
I drink it right now. Since I'm in Norway.
Yeah.
I drink it black. We drink a ton of coffee in Norway because when we're at work, I'm always like in a machine, like always. But we drink maybe, I don't know. I think our
But Norwegians love coffee. That's what I've learned.
average, I'll not even check it. I think it maybe around 10 or 15 cups. I'm not joking. Seriously, you drink so much coffee here.
What? What did he say? 10 or 15 cups? I mean, couldn't that kill you? That seems dangerous. Americans love coffee. Like, I bet America is one of the biggest nations of coffee drinkers. Norway is putting America to shame. I think Americans probably drink 2 cups of coffee a day. I don't know what Norwegians drink, but I have never heard of someone drinking 10 in my life.
But I like my coffee actually. I'm drinking it black now, but I actually prefer cappuccino.
Okay.
Because when I'm in Italy, because I live in Italy, I like the cappuccino there, like with milk, like cream on top.
Okay.
What it's called. So yeah, I like it maybe like more like cappuccino style.
Sure. That's popular in America too.
For sure, I have no problem drinking black coffee, especially because I'm in Norway, so I'm adapting here. So yeah.
That's what I was wondering. Is black coffee popular in Norway? Because it's not popular in America at all. Most Americans, like myself, can't drink it. It's too strong of a taste.
Thank you for that question. Last question I got was, how is the prices in a supermarket? To answer this one, I was thinking to take you to the supermarket myself. I will record and I just show you some items there from the shops. You can see for yourself how expensive it is. Okay?
Okay, so he's not going to cover that right now, but I know stuff in Norway is famously a bit expensive. So I know that much. And there we have it. What daily life, daily activities, food, and work, and coffee is like in Norway. This was actually so entertaining. So many fun little differences between Norway and American life that I never knew about. This was by Preben's Norwegian Community, and I liked it. I got to give that video a like. That was very enjoyable. And those questions were super interesting. It's funny because they're so general. They're so like, what do you eat? When do you go to work? When do you go to school? But these kinds of things are so interesting because they're such a part of life in America, just different. So it was really fun to learn about this. I enjoyed it. Anyway, if you enjoyed this as well, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to Norway and Norwegian culture, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching, and see you next time.